Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode of Knife About and Find Out. My name is Turtle McCreary, aka Turnstile Mickey, aka Too Hot for Hot Sauce, aka Logan Crawford, and I am so happy to have you here. On today's episode of Everyday Crawford, or EDC for short, I'm going to present you guys with a little game, a guessing game. I'm going to be presenting you 13 knives from my collection, and your job is to guess the price right. I'll give you 4 different options, so make sure you choose wisely, because there can only be one winner in this game. And the good news is, there's only one person playing.
Hi!
So for those of you playing the game at home, this is going to be my beautiful wife, Sophia.
This is going to be?
Yes, this is going to be my beautiful wife, Sophia. This is going to be my little brother, Bryce. Have you never heard that?
No.
Okay.
I was like, I already am. We signed an agreement.
So for those of you playing at home, this is my beautiful wife, Sophia, and she has inside of her our beautiful little baby Shiloh. So we are very excited for that, but we're also very excited to be playing this game today, so... say hi, honey.
Hi. How are you?
Of course, for today's drink, we have Against the Grain Pool Boy Light.
Can I sniff it?
Yes, you can sniff it. It's right here.
Oh, yeah. Soon.
But yeah, so we're going to get into the game. Which means I need to get out our first knife.
I hate you. Okay.
So up first, we do have the Gerber Paraframe Mini. I'm just going to go ahead and let you hold it down.
I was really hoping I'd be able to hold it, because I feel like that's going to help.
Yes, you will get to hold all of these. I will let you open and close them as you need to. I know you have a little trouble sometimes with your nails.
Like that.
This one has a little bit of lock stick to it.
It's nice.
The lock bar doesn't really work. So this is actually one of the first knives that I ever owned. I got this right before I went down to Narrowgate, which is a nonprofit that I went through. But yeah, it's a nice little stainless steel knife. And so the question for you, honey, as you see on your screen, you have 4 prices that you have to choose from.
Oh, well, look at that. Yeah. This is nice.
Yes. Give me your best guess.
Okay, I'm feeling like you were a teenager, so that plays into effect.
It does.
You wouldn't have gone for your more pricey ones yet.
That's correct.
So I have a feeling it's probably $26.49.
Okay, so we have our first guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like this is $26.49.
Alrighty. I didn't think about a way that I needed to record her
here.
prices.
You can use my work notebook and pen.
Help me! Help me!
To write down.
Just go to the back. Yeah. Wait. No, I need this one. No!
You said the back!
That back, so I can rip it out. So attractive.
Thank you. Did my best Vanna White. Alright, so up next, we have the Kaiser Sheepdog Mini Vanguard.
Okay. You carry this one a lot.
I do. Go ahead and pause it.
I recognize this one as an everyday carry for you.
Yes. So this one is one that I've had for several years now. It is going to be VG10 steel with G10 scales and a liner lock on it is how you have the operation. So.
Do I know when in your life you got this?
I would say within the past 6 years.
Okay.
I've got that knife within the past 6.
So you're a little bit older.
Yes.
A little bit more willing to spend money on the things you want. And
Exactly.
If I remember us before we were married,
Yes.
splurging happened.
Yes, it did. And this was a knife that I looked at for a long time before I actually bought. So this was one of those knives that I thought about before I bought it. Where the majority of these knives I bought on a whim. Okay. That's one of the few ones that I really thought about if I wanted to buy it or not. So.
I don't think this is your most expensive one, but I think it's up there. So I see the price ranges. I think it's looking at it, if you thought about it, I think it's either the 89 or the 130.
Okay, what's your final answer?
130.
130. Mm-hmm. All right.
If you thought about it, then it has to be higher priced.
It was a knife that I had wanted for a very, very long time, I think. It's one of the quintessential knife designs.
Hence the reason why you carry it constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
I was going to do a final question at the end of this of what knife do you think has the most pocket time?
That one. I don't even have to ask.
As soon as you said that, I was like, all right, she already knows the answer. It is, in fact, the Kaiser Sheepdog has the most pocket time out of any of my knives. One of these days, I want to get the full-sized one, and I want to get the extra large just because. So.
Just because. I'm just saying, my dress works for you, babe.
I look good in the dress.
Vanna whiten it up.
All right, so up next we also have next we have the Berg Blades Iron Pup. Go ahead and pause.
Okay. Oh, this is a pricey one.
This is one that I actually lost at one point. Not just
this is the one you almost cried about.
I nearly cried because I lost this knife. For those of you at home who don't know, I'm a firefighter full time, so that's what I do as a job. And this was the knife that I actually carried in my blues. So my everyday uniform at the firehouse. Mm-hmm. This was in my pocket there. And one day it actually fell out of my pocket, and I could not find it for, a week?
Yeah, you had a manhunt out on this.
I texted everybody that I knew. Brad, Star, if you ever happen to watch this, and you're like, he found the knife. Yes, I did. I actually found it before you texted me about the other knife, but I didn't have the heart to tell you that I already knew where it was. And it was really nice that you were still looking for me 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah, it was sweet.
But, yes, so this one, I actually bought this one. This is a very special knife to me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that I nearly cried when I thought I lost it.
Oh my gosh, you were so mad.
So it's a titanium frame lock with carbon fiber handles, or carbon fiber scales on it. I do not remember the steel that is used on it, but it runs on ball bearings. And I actually bought this about 2 months or a month before you and I actually met.
Yeah, it was not a purchase while we were together.
Yeah, this was bought right before we met at Blade Show 2019.
Oh yeah, you went
from Matt Berg. I think his last name is Berg. Great guy, great fireman actually, really good knife maker. And I had wanted one of his knives for a long time. He ran a deal on these ones at Blade Show. So, yeah. Tell me what you think.
Well, it's lighter than I expected. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a lot of time carrying this one because I think the only ones I've seen you use religiously are coming up.
Yes.
So, not one that I've held, but it's been at work a lot.
Yeah, it stayed at work for the first year that I was on duty.
So this looks like what you've been modeling for the one you're making.
Yes, very, very similar to the knife that I'm kind of working on right now myself.
I think if I remember correctly, you mentioned it as being one of your most expensive knives when you were really upset.
Yes, so there's a few knives that she has some small clues.
I have small clues on. This one, I think, is your 250. Because you were incredibly upset and they're very expensive to replace.
Well, and the biggest issue is he only does certain runs at a time. So he just recently did a mini barber run. And that's it. He'll never do that knife again.
So, hence the reason why I think this is the most expensive one, because I've never seen him want to cry harder. I think you would have cried harder losing this than on our wedding day.
Probably.
Most likely. And I'm okay with that. Also, your hair, man.
I know, it's rough right now. But look at the Vanna White.
Vanna White is giving me life.
It's true.
Most people would be concerned if they saw their husband in a dress, but no, it works for you.
Yeah. So,
hey!
Up next, we actually have your knife. So this is going to be the Civivi Elementum. This has been one of the hottest knives over the past...
This one's mine.
I think Civivi came out with this 2 or 3 years ago, and this has been one of the best-selling knives in the world right now. Mm-hmm. If you look at any YouTuber's top 10 knives of 2020 or 2022, whatever, especially if they're doing a list under $100, you will see this VB Elementum on there. There's good reason for it. This particular one, you've got the micarta green scales on there on a liner lock.
It's pretty.
Runs on phosphor bronze washers, maybe? It might be bearings. I haven't taken it apart to actually look yet. But very, very good action on it.
It's really easy to use.
Yep. So.
I love this knife. People are very impressed when I yank it out of my purse. Easy to open, easy to shut, unlike a lot of these.
Yes.
So I enjoy this, and I'm pretty sure this is where I get... Did you count tax into this?
No, I did not count tax. So I counted if I went to Blade HQ or one of the other retailers.
So that's not fair. We got this at a different place.
I accounted for that.
Okay.
But I did this based off just the price of what they have it listed at. And that does include sales. So there's some older knives on here that are discontinued and are selling at a cheaper price now. I counted that as their price.
Okay. Well, I feel like I remember this being in the 60s when we bought it, but I wasn't paying attention because I didn't think you were actually going to do it. So it's between 60 and 73, but I'm going to go with the 61.95. So I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong about my own knife, I'm going to be slightly sad. But it is a great knife. I'm really proud of this. This is good.
You like the hand motions and everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, even though, like, this is some good editing, babe.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So this one is going to be the ZT Sinkovich 0450 in titanium.
Okay.
ZT is...
Ooh, it's a crazy one.
Yeah. ZT is notorious for their naming series. It is basically like 0548. And it's just like, I don't know what that means. Just name the thing. So Dmitry Sinkovich was actually the designer of it. That's where that part of the name comes in. And then you have titanium handles on it on both sides with a frame lock. So it does run on ball bearings. I think this was the first ball bearing knife I ever bought. Okay. At least the first one that I knew for a fact ran on ball bearings. But this one, very quick, very snappy deployment. And one of my favorite features about it, I don't know if you caught it in the video or not, really nice, bright red kind of pop of color. You like on these back spacers. Like pops of color. I love a good pop of color.
You love a pop of color.
I love a pop of color. So yes, another one of my more pricey knives. Anything with titanium.
I'm trying to remember what I think you mentioned. The most you spent was $250 on a knife. I already guessed one is your $250. So I'm guessing this one is $220 because I don't think your highest is $275. Because I don't think I felt like you said your most expensive was $250. So I'm gonna go $220.
$220 on that one. On the Dmitry Sinkovich. Also,
it just sounds Russian and I like it.
ZT is actually fully American made.
Well, I like the Russian sound.
S30VN on the blade, by the way. So, yeah.
If that makes any sense to you, awesome. Okay, this one I've never seen.
This one I actually bought right around the time that we moved into our first real place together in Independence.
You never told me you bought a knife?
I did, actually.
I don't believe that.
I did because I told you this one is another one that has stayed historically at the firehouse. This one I bought specifically to carry in the breast pocket of my actual bunker gear, so my actual fire.
I don't remember that. But
I told you about it. So this is the true ball bearing flipper. It's here
already, so.
Yeah, it's too late at this point. It's the true ball bearing flipper. True is the name of the brand.
I like the look.
8 CRV, 13 MOV steel, frame lock with ball bearings. Yeah.
Out of all of them, besides mine, this is probably my favorite look.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is super pricey. Because I feel like you would have mentioned if it was $234.
Yeah, I think about that now, and I'm like, yeah, she knows it's definitely not that one, because I could not have snuck away $234 at that time.
I feel like if you got it and I was totally like not phased by how much it was, maybe $34.95. Because $134, I still think you would have asked me about beforehand.
It's probably a good guess.
You would have asked me.
So this is going to be the Kershaw filler frame lock assisted knife. So this is the first assisted that we're getting in.
Okay, this is the one that you've played with a lot, and I've yelled at you for. Because you click, 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 click,
no.
click, click.
It doesn't click, click, click. This is very deliberate.
No, that's what I mean. Like, it's like a snappy.
Yes, so this is an assisted open. This is the first assisted that we're going to get to. So you have a flipper tab on the back, or you can use the thumb stud.
Okay. And
there's a spring actually inside of this that will snap that blade.
Yeah, this is the one I hated when I tried.
Yeah, so after a certain point, that blade just
don't like that.
Snaps it open.
Okay.
Hold it tight.
I'm not flipping it open. I hate these things. I prefer no assisted.
Wait till I get a ProTech Auto.
Okay, then I'll fall in love with it, is what you're saying?
No, you're going to hate it even more.
Okay, then I won't have to worry about it. This is pretty heavy.
Stainless steel handles, if I'm not mistaken, and Aussate steel, maybe?
When did you get this?
3CR13.
That helps me.
So actually, I never found this. Or I never bought this. I found this at the firehouse. I asked every guy there whose it was, and nobody has been able to claim it. So any firefighters at my department, I'm not going to name my department right now, but if you happen to work with me and you lost this knife, please let me know. I've been looking for who it belongs to. I just threw it in the video because I had it on me.
Then I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably... $34.
34.9. You like that guess. That's your second one in a row
well,
with that price range.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looks... No offense, it looks cheap. I might be wrong, but sometimes the cheap ones are the expensive ones.
That's kind of the weird thing about knives is it can kind of be like that sometimes.
It can be like that?
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Alright, what's
so
this?
This is going to be the
This is your Batman knife. That's all I can think
Wildcat. I bought this back, for those of you who don't know, I did another YouTube channel a long, long time ago at this point.
Okay.
And I had a blacksmithing knife making portion of it.
Yes, you did.
And as part of that, I did a review of several knives and stuff like that. And I actually did, the Christmas that year, I did my top 5 knives under... I cheated with this knife anyways. This knife was out of the price range,
okay.
But they were running a Christmas special on it.
Okay.
And so I bought it and put it in just because I really wanted it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
This is your Batman knife. You do carry this one a lot. This is a pocket time, I think.
This one's had a decent amount of pocket time.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt to sharpen, but I like the karambit style. I like the way it kind of...
It's a very U knife.
It's a very self-defense oriented knife, which I like. It's D2 steel. I don't remember what the handles are, but...
I think 129.
129?
Mm-hmm. I was between this or the 149, but I don't know. I just feel like this is 129. I might be really failing at this, and I hope I don't disappoint you, but I like the look of this one.
So this is the Bullfrog X-frame.
Okay.
G10 scales. I'm not 100% sure on steel, but it does have a liner lock. I think it's on...
That hook.
Yeah, I think it's running on nylon washers. Yes, it is.
Surprising the price range.
Yeah. And then, yes, it does have a glass breaker as well as a seatbelt cutter.
I like that.
So a nice little rescue tool.
I would have thought that this one was more expensive, but looking at the prices on here, it might not be. And I think the one that's popping out to me for price range is $80. I feel like this is a pretty decent one for that. So
$80 is a good price for a knife. If you can get a good knife for $80, I mean the Elementum Another great knife in that $60 to $100 range.
I do also like the music choice you went with.
Thank you. I worked really hard to put this together for you.
Honestly, it's really good.
Yeah.
I like this one.
So this is the Ontario Rat Model 1.
Rat Model 1.
This is one of the few ones that I have that does not have a flipper on it at all. So rather than that little tab that sticks off the back that you flick, it has these thumb studs.
Which I can never...
Yeah, as you learn it, you can learn how to do that. But this is an AUS 8 blade, so it's a stainless steel blade with, I want to say, plastic handles. FRN handles, if I'm not mistaken, which is a fancy plastic. And a liner lock on there. This is a hard use made knife. It's designed specifically as an outdoor knife. And it is another one that is one of my favorites as well.
So most of the time, okay, this is a pretty good price point on these. So I'm leaning between the 90 and the 110. I haven't gone high in a minute. But I feel, oh, I don't know. It's one of your favorites. I know you carry this a lot. This has pocket time.
That does have pocket time.
It has pocket time because I've seen this one.
It shows it too. It shows somewhere.
Yeah, you've got some wear on it. I'm gonna go with the 90.
$90.95.
I might be completely wrong.
Hey, we're getting down to the final bits though.
We are, and
Final bits and bulbs.
I'm starting to stress.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm wrong, and I don't like to be wrong. Dance intermission.
Yes. So now we have the Combative Edge M1. So this company is now actually non-existent. They actually ended up going under shortly after I bought this knife, if I'm not mistaken.
You've had this one for a minute.
I've had this one for a long time. This one dates back to the old YouTube channel as well. This dates back to, I bought it for a knife review, and I actually reached out to the owner to actually interview him. And he agreed to do the interview. I was going to sit down with him and talk with him about, starting his own knife making company. He was a survival expert. Like, that's where he came from. He had been in combat. And I was going to talk with him about... It
looks like a military knife, for sure.
I was going to talk with him about his philosophy of knife design and where it comes from. And he just stopped responding one day. Probably a year or two later, the company Combative Edge ended up shutting down. You can still find them on Blade HQ, but they pretty much all say out of stock.
Okay.
This is another one, like the Kershaw earlier, that was an assisted open at one point. So it had that spring in there. I lost this knife for about a year. And when I found it, that spring had snapped.
Okay.
So I took the knife apart, and it's just running on a set of bearing washers now. Not bearing, phosphor bronze washers. And so the flipper tab no longer works because it doesn't have the assist. However, thumb studs still work fine. Aluminum handle with
Please don't drop it.
CPM P3F27, which, if I'm not mistaken, is basically D2, but in CPM.
Sadly, it does not feel like it should be any of these prices. It feels cheap.
Really?
It feels really cheap. Not what I was expecting.
No. Now, aluminum's a very light material.
Yes, but it feels cheap.
Yeah.
It feels like what I would expect when you go into the knife stores at Gatlinburg. Does that make sense?
Great stuff.
Does that make sense? Then, okay, so feeling it changes my opinion. Looking at it, I thought $199. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and say $160 then, based off the feel. But then again, some people overprice junk.
That's true, they do.
So...
Well, the good news is we're down to the final two, and we are going to be getting into, for the first time, our fixed blades.
Ooh. Now, this one is also one that you wear a lot.
Yes. So, this is the CRKT Spew.
Look at that, just appearing from your bosom.
I know. My big, hairy bosom.
I actually like your chest.
This is the CRKT Spew. A fantastic little neck knife. I like that it's got this really pointy edge on it. but it's got kind of a warny shape, which is this kind of like long tip down. It's got good jimping with a good thumb ramp here at the top. It's a really, really easy to use knife, in all honesty.
I like these, but I also could see where they'd be really difficult and annoying to carry because you have to have them constantly underneath like layers. So it's not great for like, it's good for concealing.
Yes.
Terrible for like ready to use access.
Which is pretty much everything has that trade-off. It's either concealable or it's easy access.
So I think that this one, it's pretty nice. And this came with it, I'm guessing.
Yes. Came with a different chain. I think it was just a paracord one. I put that bead on there.
I think $54.99. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, you use this one quite often.
I carry this one quite a bit. I like this one I like this one a lot.
You do carry it, but I would say it's not your...
It's not my normal.
Nah. But I have seen it.
Yes.
Because I've hugged you before and been like, what is that?
Yes.
I think you carried it mainly when we were dating.
I did. I carried quite a bit when we were dating. Now for the big boy of them all. The Gerber Strong Arm. This is... Oh yeah. This was designed with the combat infantry.
Oh, these are all within the same range. This one's going to be hard.
Yeah, I made this one difficult. This was designed specifically, though, with like infantry and combat soldiers in mind.
Okay.
You've got a really, really thick spine on this knife.
It's not breaking.
No, it's not breaking. It's going to take a lot of abuse. Gerber is an American-made company. You've got the glass breaker on the back side here.
Oh, I like that.
And then as well, the sheath, when I got it, had a multitude of attachment points. I've lost several of them at this point, so you used to be able to scout carry it. Okay. Which would be to carry it like this along my back. Or you can just carry it straight up and down like
Which is how I've seen you do it.
Yes.
Like when we've gone camping or hiking.
Yeah.
I think you carried it when we went hiking. I can't remember. It's been a minute. Mm-hmm. But I have seen you use this. This is
the one that I typically tuck away in a backpack somewhere. Mm-hmm. So if I have like a medium-sized compartment in a backpack I don't have anything to use it for, a lot of times this will go into that compartment.
I'm going to say $85.50. I'm going to go on the higher end of this. I will be impressed if it's lower. But I have seen you carry this.
Yes.
Woo! We did it!
So, without doing too much math, just real quick off the top of your head, what do you think my knife collection is?
Oh, honey.
Total.
This is math.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've talked about this previously. You gave me a number then. What would you think?
Did I?
Yeah.
Pregnancy brain man. Without doing too much math?
Yeah, just looking at my knife collection, saying ballpark. I think your knife collection is worth
$450 to $500.
$500?
Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense. No, never mind.
You guessed $500 worth of knives on like 3 knives. 3 of these knives are $500.
I don't math well.
At the price point that you picked, we've got $250, $220, $170.
Okay, let me redo. Okay, then I would say...
Should have stuck you with that answer.
Okay, then I'm gonna say $850 to $950.
$850 to...
Can I do that range?
We'll let you get away with it.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys all for being here today. Thank you to my beautiful wife for being here. I love you too.
I don't really have a choice. You've been yelling at me for weeks.
You've been promising to film this video for weeks.
We've done it.
We've finally done it.
He started the nursery, so...
We snuck away for 30 minutes or so to film this real quick. But yeah, I want to say welcome to the channel, you guys. This is the first video, obviously, that we've put up on here. We're going to be doing a lot of different EDC stuff, some stuff just involving our day-to-day lives and just getting to know us more. And then we'll be doing some like cocktails and stuff like that. We're just kind of experimenting with a bunch of different things right now with the channel.
We're having fun.
Yeah, seeing what sticks and just having a really good time doing it. So, love you guys. I appreciate you.
Do I know if I win?
Have a good one. this.
You need my help? I got the powder. No. Oh, good.
You know what the best part is? I got that on video.
Yeah, and my disappointed look.
It's going at the end credits right there.